we were shut down with pretty much no warning.
So what we'd love to start with is just share with us a little bit about your district background and how many sites and teachers you have.
Well, we are a suburban district with roughly 6,200 students, about 350 certified staff and teachers in 6 buildings. We have 1 high school, 1 junior high school, 1 intermediate building with solely 6th graders, 2 buildings with grades 2 through 5, and 1 building with grades K and 1.
Great. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we are approaching our 3rd year with your program, Springboro Gold, the online training program with Alludo. Prior to using Alludo, what did professional learning look like at your district?
I'll go ahead and answer. Go ahead, Cheryl.
It tended to be synchronous. I mean, everybody came to a big PD at the same time, and we didn't have on-demand learning really available for teachers across the district. And it was definitely a smaller level of choice because we still have a really small department. There are 5 of us in the curriculum department that do the majority of the training. And at that time, there were only 4. So it definitely limited different choices that we could offer to teachers prior to using Alludo.
And then to add to that, Cheryl and I were the only tech trainers. So between 2 of us to service 350 teachers, it was a lot of one-on-one time, fitting appointments in, and Alludo has really helped because we can't be everywhere where the need is. So Alludo really helps fill that gap, and then we can, I feel like, even do more.
Great. So describe a little bit about the situation at hand. So when we started working early March on our professional development competition month, Springboro has always been at the top of the list in the 3 years now that we've done our PD Madness. And at the beginning of the month, everyone was gung-ho, teachers were on board, and then things shifted with the situation. And so describe a little bit of just that experience, how you as a district had to modify, change, and navigate given the circumstances at hand.
Well, go ahead.
Go ahead, Andrea.
We were hit pretty hard by COVID-19. We were shut down with pretty much no warning. Alludo has been an absolute joy to have available to our staff. As a Google school for 6 years now, many of our staff were in good shape. However, much of the training that Amy and Cheryl had done was voluntary training by teachers who were interested in tech, interested in upgrading their skills. So we still had a large population of instructors who were very much behind in their technology training. So Alludo, we absolutely embraced when we went into this at-home learning style because many of our teachers needed that training, and Alludo was able to provide and fill the gaps that Amy and Cheryl were unable to do with 350 staff members. Most of their trainings during this period of time have been one-on-one, and with only 2 of them, it makes it awfully difficult to be able to fill those gaps.
The state on Thursday, March 12th, was announced that we were going to shut down schools as of that following Monday. And we had a teacher workday on Friday. So the kids didn't even get to come back. We found out after the kids left that we weren't going to be bringing kids back into the classroom on that next Monday. And our teachers, we on the fly tried to at least get them to where they could work Google Meet so that they could meet online with us for training. And really, that was one of the big things is that when Alludo offered us the distance learning package that you guys had put together really quickly, that was kind of a lifesaver for a lot of our teachers because we had teachers that were, say, using Google Classroom for announcements, but they had never used it for an assignment. So there was a gap where they were kind of like, big toe in the water deep as far as using tech. And now they suddenly had to be in up to their waist and didn't have any notice to that. So the ability to say, hey, if you need help with Screencastify, if you're looking for a way for the kids to videotape their work with Flipgrid and send it back to you, why don't you go check out Alludo? And if you still need more help, reach out to us again. It really helped us target those teachers that were at the most desperate level of just being able to meet with kids online. And the ones that were a little more self-sufficient could go ahead and go out and start training on their own, which was fabulous, honestly.
I think honestly, it saved our K-1 teachers, because if you think about 5 and 6-year-olds, they're not on the computer that much. They're 5, they have a hard time just logging on. So with our teachers didn't use technology in their classrooms a lot. They really didn't use Google Classroom before, or a lot of the tools. So with Alludo, it's been nice because they said, they went and they were able to take a class, learn a little bit, talk to me back and forth. And almost all of our first grade classrooms are using Classroom now and Meet. And I think because they would not have been able to do that if I was just the only person helping. So a lot of our teachers have really grasped onto this concept and they're learning more, and it's really exciting.
Great. Thank you. One of the questions I was going to ask you is, independent of the current situation, the pandemic, prior to that, sometimes it's a challenge to measure effectiveness in the classroom, because ultimately the training, the professional development and learning that you apply with your teachers is the need for it is the application in the classroom and a way to measure positive results in the classroom. From what you've just shared, it sounds like there's been quite a bit of positive impact in the classroom, but the classroom now being a remote, virtual, and distance. But maybe speak just a little bit, given the history, because we've been working with you now 2+ years. Have you been able to measure or see the impact based on the training that the teachers are doing?
I think.
Go ahead, Andrea.
I think the biggest impact that we have seen has been during our closure, our at-home learning. The level of skill that our teachers have and the amount of work that they've put forth previous to our closure through training with Amy and Cheryl and Alludo has really put us ahead of many districts in the state of Ohio.
It's amazing, especially with our little ones who have never been on a Google Meet or really never used a Google product. The teachers are doing small group instruction. One of our 2nd grade teachers, for example, meets with 6 to 7 kids every half an hour, 3 days a week for that one-on-one math time. They're using things like Jamboard, which they had never used in the past, Google Classroom. So just how kids are reacting to the situation, it wouldn't have been possible without the training.
And I think that we're going to be able to utilize skills that our teachers didn't have before Alludo as we go into the future, whether that's doing whether that's doing some learning at home. We're probably going to be on a schedule that's partial home, partial school as we go back in the fall. And I think a lot of the learning that they've done through Alludo will take them into a situation whereby they can utilize the skills from Alludo to be able to do a mixture of learning, whether it's face-to-face or on screen with those families.
That's
I think,
great.
it also helped our teachers really embrace more of the idea of the flipped model, the ability to do basic instruction at home and then do intensive support in the classroom. I think that's what we're going to see more of also in the fall. In that blended learning model is that, that classroom can't be just reading a book by yourself. It's going to have to be some kind of intense instruction if we're only there part-time or support, intense support. So I think that is going to be something that's really helped out through all the trainings on how to get all of their stuff and use different programs that they've learned more about through Alludo. So
I think this has really opened our teachers, like in the whole world, like what ed tech really means. Our kids learn differently. They're online, and some of our teachers haven't embraced that. But with this, unfortunately, it's a terrible situation. But with having to do the online learning and the flip learning, like Cheryl said, I think they're going to really embrace and realize this is the right way to teach, because we can differentiate, we can do small groups. And the technology is just going to help us do that.